Hi guys, back again, and today, as promised, to talk to you a little bit about some strengthening exercises that you might want to do before you run. Now, a lot of the stuff that you'll see online, which talks about strengthening conditioning before running, talks about hip and pelvic stability, and often a lot of the focus is on glute strength and things like that. And in my opinion, it's often the foot that's overlooked in terms of strengthening. The foot is the foundation of your limb, and going back to what I said on the very first vlog that we did, there's a lot of force that goes through your limb as you're running, so it's really important that the foot's strong enough to withhold that force, and in particular it's strong enough to control the impact as you're landing, because that's what essentially what the foot does is it's a kind of the shock absorbing element of your gait. So it's really important that we strengthen the foot. So I'm going to talk you through 3 of my favourite exercises that you can do to get you started before you run. So the first one you can do this in sitting or standing, and it's really important that you understand what we're talking about in terms of your arches of your foot. So if you can see in this position, your arch is on the inside of your foot here, and in a lot of people, particularly people with flatter arches than myself, you can see that I've got quite a nice high arch. In people with flatter arches, you'll tend to see that we have this sort of movement, so where the foot is sort of collapsed in a little bit to the middle, and you can see that as I do that movement, the knee comes with it, and you can see that that then has a knock-on effect in terms of how much rotation we're getting at the knee, and it can often overload the inside of the knee. So the first exercise you're going to do is in standing. Think about your foot is 3 points of contact, so you've got 2 points of contact at the front and 1 at the back, so it's like a tripod, and then it's the arch in the middle. And what you're thinking about doing, if you're in this collapsed position, you're thinking about rotating the foot slightly and picking up the arch. Now the best way to do that is actually to make sure your toes are all in contact with the floor, push your toes down into the floor, and then really squeeze the toes into the floor, and as you can see, my sort of arch picks up quite nicely there. And then if you relax again, let the foot flatten out, and then really pick up the arch, and making sure as you're doing it that you're keeping your arch in that neutral position, so not in this position where you're pulling up, which as you can see puts most of the pressure through the big toe. We're correcting that position, making sure the foot's nice and straight, and then pushing down into the floor. The second exercise you're going to do, you need to attach your TheraBand to the corner of your coffee table or something alike. Take a seat, pop the band around the foot and pop it over the sort of front of your toes. Keep your heels sort of gently resting on the floor. Really important that you keep the knee nice and still. Take up the slack in the band, and then you're going to rotate your foot in, sort of curling your toes underneath you a little bit, and then relaxing back to the side. So it's slowly back out again, and then back in again. And you should feel that that working on the inside of your foot there. So it's a nice, steady, fluid movement. Last exercise, remaining with the band, but pop it around your ankle and turn yourself around so you're facing away. And again, the band should be pulling you into the middle, so going back to that previous position we've talked about, you want to make sure that as the band is pulling you in, you're trying to counteract, so thinking about those 3 points of contact with the foot. Stand on one leg, and at the beginning this might be a hard enough exercise for you, just to try and maintain that arch in that position, so you're not letting your foot collapse into the middle, but keeping the arch nice and strong. If you find this easy though, you can then do a nice heel raise, and then slowly back down again. So you're lifting up, and then slowly down, and as you come down, don't let the arch collapse. So you might do, of all of those exercises, 10 to 12 repetitions, and do it 2 or 3 times through. Really good thing to do before you run to help get those feet nice and active, and hopefully that'll stop some of those problems. I will be back online again to talk a little bit about the more sort of pelvic stability and hip strengthening that you can also do before running. Take care and see you soon.